Hi, my name is Allison and I make stuff, and today I am making a very fancy do not disturb sign for my door. As I was making the video where I was painting these doors and painting the futzy blue flowers on them, my husband tried to open the door and walk in, probably because I was dead silent concentrating so hard. So we're going to be making a nice do not disturb sign so he will know when I am recording videos, and he'll know if I'm in a meeting or something for work. I don't really have a lot of plans right now, so I'm going to be kind of just going along with the flow. My goal is to use up supplies for my stash and not buy anything for this project, so we're kind of limited to whatever I already have in my office. But I have a bit of a vision, kind of like medieval tapestry vibe, and I think it's going to turn out great, so let's get going. So this is the pattern I created. You can make any shape you want, but this kind of little bunting style seemed cute to me. Here are the measurements if you are interested in recreating the shape. I'm going to use red fabric and it's going to say recording, and then the tan fabric is going to say in a meeting. So first I'm going to actually just draw the shapes on the fabric. I'm not going to cut anything out yet. For the words, I'm actually going to use Cricut. I have a Cricut cutting machine, and I'm going to use some random iron-on I have. This is a really pretty metallic. This is going to go on the red, and then I'm going to use this glittery black on the tan. Okay, so I cut out my words on Cricut. The font I'm using is called Royal Signage. It's by Heritage Type. I purchased this font because it is very beautiful. It has these gorgeous ornate uppercase letters. So I thought that'd be fun for this project. So I'm gonna iron these off camera and then we'll be back to do further decorating. The iron-ons look so good. I thought this metallic was actually gonna fade too much into the red, but after ironing it, it's so shiny. It looks so great. But now comes the real fun part. I have rhinestones, I have beads, I have tassels, I have all sorts of stuff. I have embroidery floss. I don't know what I'm going to be using yet, but I have so many supplies and we're just going to dive right into it. I think the rhinestones I would do after I sew it together, but the rest of these embellishments I might do now. For this one, I'm thinking of doing some kind of like maybe Art Deco swoopies with beads that I can embellish with rhinestones on the end after. So kind of just eyeballing it. Let's see. I could maybe actually measure the middle. Imagine that. This is 6 inches wide. The middle is 3. I was so close. I was so close. Okay. So this is the middle. This is a heat erasable pen, by the way, so this can be ironed off later. So maybe something like this. Kind of like, I don't know, vine leaf adjacent. And then maybe something similar on the top, but smaller. So now you can see I left the extra fabric on here because I wanted more room to play with. Maybe we go full into the metallic vibe and use these pretty metal beads. That actually seems like, well, I think that'll blend in too much. I have all sorts of colors, but kind of think the other colors I pulled out don't really make sense. But I think this metallic will look really nice. And for rhinestones later, I have some red rhinestones that I think will be very pretty. I also have some like AV ones. I don't know, maybe actually crystal. But, oh, the purple's kind of pretty. So maybe I'll do purple. But anyways, let's do the beading first. It's not perfect, but it's kind of cute wonky. The little vines at the top ended up a little lopsided, but I think it'll look great once I think, okay, so as I was doing this, I was thinking, what would make this look really cool? And I think I want to turn these into kind of flowers using the rhinestones, like the bigger rhinestones surrounded by like petals of smaller rhinestones. I think that would look really pretty. So I think that is the plan for this one. For the in a meeting sign, I think I'm just gonna add some kind of straight lines of beads as kind of emphasis. So something kind of like that. I think this is kind of cool. Let's see, how long did I make this? 1.25 inches. Yeah, that's very cute. That is super cute, but let me find some beads because I think the ones I pulled are not fitting the vibe. I pulled some more options, and I think to no one's surprise, I'm gonna do green. This is a really pretty metallic green. I guess this is called Delica Avocado Luster, which is the vibe. I love avocado, so I think that's the color I'm gonna go with. I also pulled this really pretty metallic, but I think it blends in too much, and I just wasn't feeling the blues with the black text. So yes, let's go with avocado. Actually, I changed my mind. I found these really pretty purple ones. I think this is gonna look really cute. So we're gonna go with purple instead. Okay, we got them all beaded up. I'm going to cut these out, I'm going to sew them, I'm going to turn them inside out, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to ladder stitch up the side. Okay, I'm gonna go iron this off camera. I'm gonna get rid of the pen marks, the iron. It's very important that you don't iron directly onto heat transfer vinyl. So I have a pressing cloth and I'm gonna iron very delicately just to make these edges crispy for the next step. I already had these beads out and I thought what would make this look even fancier than a beaded border. So I'm going to bead around the entire border. It's probably gonna take me a while. I found these really nice matte metallic beads in my stash that I thought kind of looked good with both sides. So we're gonna go with that. Before I break out any glue, I want to add my tassel to the bottom. I have a couple options, and the ring to the top, which is gonna be how we hook this onto our wall hook. For tassel options, I'm feeling pink. I think pink goes with both sides. I kind of love a pink-red combo, so let's do pink. I have some gem tack glue, I have rhinestones in my banner, and I also have a bobby pin I bent open to use to place glue. And we're gonna start decorating. I realized after adding my hook, I went way off center up here. I don't know, we'll do something fun. It'll look good in the end. But yeah, let's start adding rhinestones. The border, by the way, turned out exactly how I wanted to. It kind of adds a little glow to the edge. So let's add more sparkle. I've also decided I don't think the other side needs any rhinestones. I think it looks really cute the way it is, so I guess it's time to reveal. Turned out super cute. I think I just kind of went with the flow, went with whatever I was feeling in the moment, and I think it turned out really great. I especially love the purple beads on this side. I love the kind of vine flowers I made. The tassel super cute. The beaded border, which took a while, but I think was totally worth it. So I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. And now I can tell my husband when I'm recording. Obviously, I'm recording right now and I have this in my hand, so he will have to just guess, but this is gonna be so useful and a nice way to mark when I'm busy. Thank you for following along with whatever happened today, and I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.